What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I've got a special treat for you guys. I actually got my hands on a EXO Kayaks Rexy. This is not, before you guys start, I know what you're going to say. This is not the party version. This is the regular Rexy. This is not the party version. There is a party version of this that's 20 liters less volume in the tail. They've done something similar to the Brap, where you have kind of a river runner version, and then they, during the molding process, they heat that, bring that, or they probably sandbag it, push that down, and it gives more of a flatter profile to the tail, and that's where the party version comes in. This video, I'm going to go over just the river runner top version. So yeah, the EXO brand, I have seen this brand before. This brand's been around for a while. They have several little creek boats. I think they have the T-Rex is one of their creek boat designs, if you guys check that out. But this is their kind of introduction to the half slice market. And I did see one of these boats up in New York and kind of looked over it, because there is a dealer in Toronto, and I know there's a dealer in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So these boats are available in the U.S. You can either bring them in from Canada or just order them from Milwaukee or somewhere. But this boat in particular, a buddy of mine, Ronnie Garris, he actually hit me up and asked me to try this boat out, and I've always wanted to do it. We've talked back and forth, and we met up at the green race, and he sold it to another lady, Karen Millis. Yeah, and I think her name's Millis, but if I'm messing up her names, I'm sorry, Karen. But it's her boat, and I will be testing it out. And what I wanted to do is do like a walkthrough and on-water review of the Rexy, because there's not much out on these EXO boats. This is an Italian company. This company has been around for a while, so they're no young kid to the game here. They know their processes as far as rotor molding, assembly, and I will get into that, because the outfitting in this boat, perfecto. They did a damn good job on the outfitting, and the molding quality is extremely well done. This boat comes in, I'm going to go ahead, the specs on this thing, I'll throw the specs up on the screen now, but I think it comes in around about 9 foot, about 68 gallons of volume. And yeah, so that's all the specs on the boat. And this color, I didn't see names for their colors, so you guys leave in the comments if you know names. You know, sometimes companies will name it electric blue or whatever. This is just blue. I've seen a blue one, a red one, a green one. They had this multicolor mix that looked really good. So their boats have a lot of different kind of color options, but I don't know the names of them. But this is just, we'll just call it blue. So good old blue here. In this video, I'm just going to go over with kind of the specs and what I think of the assembly, the molding, and the overall build quality and shape of this boat. In the next video, I'll go over an on-water review where I really I've already paddled it once, by the way, so I'm still got it. I'm still doing some more testing on it. This is one of these boats where it's kind of hard to tell you on 1 or 2 paddles. Paddle it about 2 or 3 times, which I do with a lot of my boats. You guys just don't see it. A lot of times I'll paddle a boat for like a week before I give a review on it, and then people will be like, oh, you only paddled it once because I've seen you in the video in it once. Well, that's probably the footage that I used. Yeah, guys, I'll go ahead and start the review now. I'm going to do my normal thing, start in the stern and just work my way up to the bow, and then I'll flip it over and go over the hull and the shape for you guys. So yeah, stick around. So yeah, I'll do my normal thing, and you know what, I'm starting out normally. Look at this drain plug. This is a rubberized drain plug. It is molded in. It's the same style drain plug that Dagger uses. It looks just like a Dagger drain plug. That is actually molded in. They know how to mold a drain plug. Nice circular area there. I see the threads molded in, and it's got a little parting line right there, so it's a 2-piece that they pull out. Little nice, it's scooped in. That is very recessed. Very well done on the drain plug. I can go on about drain plugs, I know. Interesting shape, how they did this shape right here. It goes around like a disc, and it's got an elevated, almost, you know, a 1/2 inch up right around that whole edge there. Yeah, so look at that. That's interesting that they did this kind of like deck stylings like there. I like that. Like the name. That is cool. Rexy. And then it has the claw marks right there. I really like that graphic. That graphics looks good. Good name, good graphic. Moving on up to the handle. Check out the handle. One thing that I did find, there's only 2 handles on this. If it was me, I would like to see a handle back here I don't know if EXO watches my videos, but I mean, what I'd like to see is a handle back here. This handle should be here, and then I don't think they need a robust handle like this. They could even put a small security bar or something, bridge it right here. Just something to clip onto or run through a strap on your car. But it is a nice metal handle, and it is their handle. They have EXO actually engraved into the aluminum, or as you guys like to say, aluminium. Socket head bolts on there with a flat profile on it. Very sturdy. These are molded in inserts. This is not drilled and put nuts on the bottom. This is actually rotomolded in inserts. So yeah, plastic feels firm. It's rotomolded. It feels nice and stiff. The only thing that I do notice, there is a lot of surface pitting. Usually what causes that is they let the resin get a little too hot. In areas like that, that can be done with insulation. Looks good back here. It's only an issue right up there. Mold quality looks very good outside the little bit of surface pitting. I really like the mold quality. No texturing on the boat. For whatever reason, EXO does not like texturing their boats. Maybe because they get so much surface pitting, they actually call that texturing, but it's not textured at all. Molded in wall holder. That helps hold that stern wall from falling over in there. Moving on up. I'm not going to go into the outfitting yet. I'm going to skip on up to the bow. I'm not going to break down the outfitting. I'll come back to that. These things serve two purposes. It's to drain water out, which they don't work at all for that, but that was a waste of time. But what I think EXO really wanted them for is when you're getting in and out of the boat, it's a place to put your hand right here and push out of. Me personally, I use back here. I rarely push out right here. What I would have done is textured this whole area as like a hand pocket and just put some sort of texture right here. They did it right here where you just push your hand out of there. Not a big fan of that. I don't think that's needed, but you know what? That's my opinion. That's my professional opinion on rotomolding. I don't think you need that. I would have done a texturing here and just had my hand where it does and just get rid of that and keep that line going a little smoother because they look kind of weird sticking out there. Moving on up, thigh braces. I will get back to them because oh my God, I love those thigh braces. It's dipped in here. It's flat. It comes down and it curves into an angle here. Big, nice, colorful graphics. I love colored graphics. The green, the white, the red, the orange EXO with black accent logoing. I really like that. I looked at that EXO logo. They are using, the bulkhead screws do have a plate on the outside instead of the inside. Don't know if I would have done it this way. I would have probably put this plate on the inside instead of the outside, and it helps displace that load. If you piton something, it won't pull the bolt through the plastic. So that's actually a smart thing to do. Dagger does that and found out that this over the one bolt is way better for pulling through the plastic. So yeah, I'll cover more on the inside when I get to it. Deck stalling here goes down nicely. They have this engraved into the mold. The EXO logo is engraved into the mold. Once again, what I'd like to see is this handle here moved up to here, and then another handle right here. I think you always should have a handle close to the tip, because if you're submerged in a vertical pin or something, sometimes that's all it's sticking out of a boat, and that's all we got to clip onto, where if it's way down here, it's down here where I don't need to. And then also, if I've got two up here, it lets me create an anchor system for getting one here and one here. If I had to choose where a handle goes, I would almost always put it at the end of it, the boat, instead of right here. But it is a nice cutout, kind of a teardrops logo type, kind of similar to, I think, Liquid Logic, kind of similar to that, just like a teardrop shape. You can kind of see that shape, an aggressive shape. That's pretty much the entire deck. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the outfitting because there's a lot to cover in this outfitting. It's something new that I've never seen, and I'm really impressed. So let me start with the outfitting now. And we'll start with my favorite part, and that's these thigh braces. Oh, wow. Oh, by the way, we'll start with the rim. The rim dimension is similar to Dagger's. It's not super big. It seems to be about right, but check this out. They did something smart. They drilled 3 holes right here for draining. Anytime, and manufacturers, if you're listening to me, anytime if you put a step down rim like this, please drill several holes, not just one little tiny hole. Do like EXO did. Drill several holes here and several holes right here, so it drains out of that rim. When this boat gets water in it, it doesn't drain out of this rim area. This could hold a lot of water, and it's great having these holes to help drain that out. Check these babies out. Once again, manufacturers need to look at what they did. Look at the amount of structure that EXO had built into these thigh braces. Oh my God, this is amazing. See these kiss-offs right here? This is the stiffest molded in thigh brace I've ever seen in the history of kayaking. Look at these stiffeners down through here. These are what we call kiss-offs in the mold, and what it does, you actually build those into the mold so the rim forms solid pieces here like that. That's solid. That is why that's so stiff and so solid. Very comfortable. It has a very aggressive grab to my thigh right there. These are trimmed, very nicely trimmed. They're nice and thick. They used a pad that they have. It's one of their pads, because how do I know that? Because it has a big EXO logo on it. It's double-sided tape down. It's probably glued up there, but it's double-sided tape down there. Very similar to the Waka, Jackson, Veris. Very similar to that setup, but they nailed it. The best way of doing it that I've ever seen, better than Jackson. Jackson has one of the best, but the problem with Jackson, which is why they came out with the bee's knees, which you haven't seen my bee's knees videos, click on that now, but the bee's knees. But what EXO did, they built their aggressiveness into the thigh hook. Very aggressive thigh hook. And another thing, actually I compared this to the Antics. So if you guys want, I'll show the Antics and the EXO comparison side by side. But in the Antics, the outfitting's similar. It's a rotomold. They have a thermoform seat pan that moves. This is rotomolded that moves along a track there. The thigh braces are the same. They use the same cleat, and it's one of these things, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. Never been that big of a fan of this shoestring crap, but after paddling several Jackson boats, I tell you, it works extremely well. What EXO did, because they added so much structure here, they didn't have a room for their cleat, so they moved their anchor cleat back in right here, which is in a further back spot, but it helps tighten it up better because it's not on the turn. So they actually, this is a better system than what Jackson does. It's almost like they took the Jackson system, they did the exact same thing of putting the rope through here, tying it off, and then drilling a hole here and running it through, and then once again putting a kiss off there, running out here into this anchor cleat, and it worked extremely well. But if you guys do notice, it's a kind of a tubular, look like some sort of paracord. This is some type of paracord. I don't know what size, not the 550 paracord, but something like it, which unlike Jackson uses like what, I can't remember the name of that. It's like a rudder rope that goes around a boat for rescue. You guys tell me if you know what the hell that, it's a reflective rope that goes around touring boats, so it helps you get back in the boat. I can't remember the name of that system, but that's what Jackson uses, and I'll tell you why. Because look, this boat is not very old, and look what's already happening right here, guys. That is not going to last long. And you know what's causing that? It's right where that ring wearing. You can already see what it's doing to that, and this boat is not that old. Not so much on this side, but it is starting to happen right there, and it's because this paracord is not designed for that type of friction like that. If I was them, I would try to work with that and figure out a different way of doing that, but it's extremely functional. It's easy to replace. The thing about that, if it breaks on you, unlike a ratchet, you could just go to the hardware store and find a cord and fix this thing. That's what I do like about rope cleats over ratchets. You break a ratchet, you kind of have to order a ratchet. You break a rope, well, everybody's got a rope somewhere. If not, you could just go buy one. They gave you way more than you need. Look how far that goes out. That is way out there. Yeah, so that's the thigh brace and the back band cinch down system. The back band itself, it's their back band from EXO. It has the logo in it. It's very comfortable. Super stiff. Very stiff, all hard plastic there. I would have done something different here, some sort of attachment where I could get in and out of there. One thing I also see that they did, they put a up and down adjustment, but it's not detachable. It's this little lever where you just loosen it up and tighten it down. Not the biggest fan of that. I think that looks kind of like an afterthought. I would have done something different with that. But you know what? I get it. It works. I'm nitpicking, guys. I know I'm nitpicking here, but that's what I do for you guys in these videos. I nitpick because I've been through outfitting. I help design outfitting, so I kind of nitpick, and it's my job to kind of nitpick for you guys. If you want to get to the back, there's not much room back there. You can lift up on this back band and slide up under there, and it'll go in there. But it functions extremely well. Look how well I can tighten that back band down. Oh boy, just as good as a Jackson back band. And I knock on the Jackson shoestring system a lot, but it works. It works extremely well, and so does this. So good job on EXO, good job on the outfitting. Damn good job on that back band. You're probably gonna have some issues right here, but you know what? I'm sure they'll figure it out. Enough about the back band. Moving on to the hip pads. The hip pads are their hip pads. I see EXO logoed straps. They were smart. They did 2 hip pads. They did 2 straps. I loosened this one up so you guys can see. 2 straps, a bottom and a top and a bottom that goes around. You just pad out behind it. Very functional, very easy to adjust. You don't put anything inside the hip pad. You just put things on the outside and tighten it up, and it brings that in. Very good on EXO. Very simple and functional. Moving on to the seat. Now the seat is something that really impressed me also. The seat is adjusted with a bolt back here. The thing is, you take them all the way out, take that bolt all the way out, take this bolt all the way out, and you see there's 4 rotomolded inserts into this is a rotomolded track, by the way. This is not thermoformed. I can tell because there's a parting line there. They're probably running 2 at a time, and it's 2-piece mold, and then they cut it and trim it, and you've got 2 out of 1 mold, and that's the parting line that goes all the way around, and it's a big mold. I can tell you that right now. This thing goes way down in there, and I'll show you that on the GoPro here in a minute. I got to put a light and a GoPro down there for you guys to see it. But you see how this works? There's inserts right there, which could be post mold inserts, not necessarily rolled it in inserts. I haven't. And check that out. See how that moves? You just move this seat along, and what it does, they have a metal bracket that they've screwed into the seat. Pretty ingenious idea, if I may add. It's screwed into the seat, and what you do, at first I could not move this seat, and then I'd found these 2 screws right here, and what this is, there's a bracket on the back. Once you move this seat, this has a plate on the back. Loosen these up, not all the way, because that plate will fall on you. I've banged on it. Now I've got the seat in the back position. Pretty simple. Pretty simple to adjust this. You put your 2 screws back in right there. You want to go right here, and this is a secondary adjustment that tightens it all down and keeps it in place. There is a bracket on the outside of this. Pretty smart. Very smart design. Very functional, very simple and effective. Highly recommend this design. If I was still building boats, I would explore this design. This is a rotomolded seat. It's nice and flat. They cut the back out, and then they run a plate, and these are held in by screws and nuts on each side, and all this is a slotted plate that they're getting machined out, and they've put on the back. Pretty smart. I like it. You don't deal with inserts. I'm not a fan of inserts here in the seat. If you looked at Waka, if you look at Zet, there's a insert in the seat that you have to take out. I'm telling you, you're creating a ton of problems with adjusting a seat when you do that. So yeah, very good on EXO. Once again, very impressive from a manufacturing standpoint, from somebody that's designed outfitting. I'm not a guy that's just like tinkered with boats in my basement and outfitted boats. I've actually worked in manufacturing and designed outfitting, and I can tell you that is extremely well done. Good job on EXO once again. Okay, where was I? So I put the hip pad, I put the shims back in there and tighten it up to kind of show you guys how it tightens up. Very sturdy. I moved the seat to show you how quick and easy you can move the seat. You just slide that back, tighten these knobs up into those inserts. few turns there, a few turns there, a lot of turns on that one because it's longer, and it's all tight, very solid, very solidly made. Has a very solid feel to it. The seat pad, very nice seat pad. I think they went a little kind of crazy with the pine tree rivets on this thing. I don't think you need that many, but another thing, when you use these pine tree rivets, you can't really slide anything under it. So if you wanted to kind of lift yourself up, you kind of just have to pad on top of this. This is their seat pad. See the logo on it. I'd almost like to be able to kind of like take this off if I need to and put, like, you could pop these pine tree rivets out and put something under it and just push it back down. So you technically can do it, it's just a little harder. One thing that I did notice they did on this seat, I don't know if you guys can see it, let me grab a light. Check this out. Instead of foam back there, they've put, this is a piece of plastic sticking out of the side of the seat. I don't know if I would recommend EXO doing this, because you can see the wear marks right here. That is plastic on plastic. That is a big, huge, pointy piece coming out right there. It adds structure and keeps the seat from moving around, but I'd almost rather see foam back there instead of that plastic piece. If I'm EXO, I'd probably cut that plastic piece off. I had a subscriber reach out to me and said his boat actually broke because of the way the seat contacted the hull. And I'd already looked at this and I can see it. There is no foam on this seat at all. That is another contact directly on the hull. I don't like that. If I can, you can see the wear marks here. That is just where the seat had been sitting on the hull. Not the best practice, EXO. So there's some things they've done that they've probably figured out and they're not doing it anymore, I hope anyway. But you can see back there, that is a piece of the seat sticking out. Very well made seat though, extremely well made. Here's something that's cool. So this is a big, huge rotomolded track. This is not a thermoform track that you see in Jackson, and so it does have a step out pillar. I'll see if I can light this up in there. You can see that it has a step out pillar in there. Is that not cool? There's a bungee right here. A bungee right here, so that's where I carry my throw rope. I took the throw rope out, but a throw rope or water bottle can go there. A throw rope or water bottle can go right here. Very cool little area that they've just utilized right here. Let me try to get the camera down in there for you guys. I don't know if you can see that. Let me change over to another camera. So you guys can see right there what they've done. They've added a water bottle holder on the back side of this wall. Is that not genius? That's such a smart idea. Let me put that thing back in there. Is that not a genius idea? I love that. You can put like a water bottle, a Gatorade, some water, maybe even a throw rope right there. I'd much rather have my throw rope right here where I can grab it quicker, but that's a great spot to kind of like utilize that area right there for you know, whatever. But here's the reason I really wanted to kind of show you guys. I'm down inside the boat now. Look how far. So there's no foam pillar in there. Look at how that rotomolded bulkhead goes on this thermoform track. They have, rotomolded track that's rotomolded that goes the entire length of the boat to help stiffen it up. And something else that I did notice when I was carrying this boat, that's a hand grip for carrying the boat. That is a stiffener that also turns into a hand grip. Is that not cool? I really like that a lot. That was so smart. That was so smart for them to put that little bar right there, to put that little rotomolded stiffener and give you something to hold on to. The bulkhead slides amongst these tracks. It's extremely sturdy. Very good. Fills up the gap nicely. If you guys can see, it slides along this rotomolded track. The bulkhead worked extremely well. It runs off of these two bolts here. You basically just grab it, slide it back and forth. You've got a rotomolded step out pillar here. That goes into an insert there. Very well made. So yeah, you guys see all of the inside there. I changed cameras so you can kind of see down inside the boat. Very impressive. I am very impressed with the design of this outfitting. They did a good job. I cannot go on enough about it. That's pretty much all I got on the outfitting. I'm going to go ahead, roll it over and let you guys see the hull and kind of go over the overall shape of it. But yeah, let's do that now. Looking at it here, you can see it's not very thin compared to a lot of half slices. This is more geared towards a river runner. I could get it vertical. I can move it around and get it vertical pretty easy, but it's not, I mean, I can get it vertical. I just can't get it vertical very easy. It's very wide back here behind the hips, and it carries that width back really far. And that's what doesn't allow you to get the boat down as well. Nice edging. It's very smooth and soft on the edging. See how it smooths around and softens up? You can kind of see how it goes down right there. Parting line all the way down. Not a super high rockered bow, but it does have bow rocker in there. Let's go ahead and roll it over. Nothing special on this hull, guys. Nothing very special here. It starts out nice and flat. It's got a nice flat planing surface, and it stays planing. EXO logo right there. Stays planing all the way. No real rail on it. It has a very smooth transition to it. No rail at all. Kind of reminds me of a hybrid Brap meets Ripper. Kind of like if you took the Brap style, like not with the kick rocker obviously, but the way that rails go, there's not really any rails on it, and mixed it in with the Ripper stalling. You can kind of see how that hull is. Nothing special, but it functions extremely well. I have paddled it. You guys will have an on-water review coming. It is wide back here, not super wide. You can see where my hand is right there, and then it kind of tapers out and gets really wide right here. Not far out from the hull. Right there it starts getting wide. But yeah, very predictable hull. Nothing flashy on this hull. Let's roll it over, back over. I know I'm not on the flattest of surfaces right here, but this will kind of give you guys a good idea. Bow rocker looks to be around about 13 inches of bow rocker in the bow. So I'm not giving you, you know, and I know this is kind of like a guesstimation, guys. I know you'll, oh, that's not on a flat surface. I get it. You guys already burning me up in the comments. So stern rocker, little higher stern rocker than I thought it would have. It's got around about 10 inches of stern rocker. I'll let you guys break that down into centimeters, but around about 10 inches of stern rocker in the back. What else can I cover? Plastic feels good and sturdy. Feels, you know, it's polyethylene plastic, roll-to-molded. It's not blow-molded. Very solid. Kind of reminds me of a Dagger or Piranha. Has that Dagger or Piranha feel to their resin. I don't know what kind of resin they're using over in Italy, but it has a good, which to be like Dagger and Piranha, that's not a bad thing. Doesn't feel like a Zet and doesn't feel like a Prion. I think that's it, everybody. That's my entire walkthrough of the EXO Rexy. Leave in the comments below if you guys have a Rexy. I know what you're saying. You need to check out the Party Rexy. Well, I get what I can get. I'd like to have a Party Rexy too, because after paddling it, I feel like I do need more volume out of there. So yeah. I get it, everybody. So before you guys start lightening me up that I should get a Party Rexy, yeah, I'm working on it. I get what I can get. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for everybody that supports the channel, that helps me get these boats to review them for you guys and go over them from my perspective and my opinion on the manufacturing and design of them. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys. But yeah, and for you guys that aren't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now, because I will have more boats to review. Hopefully I'll be getting a Machete. I'll be getting a Prion Pike soon, so you guys will get to really see the other half slice that are kind of hitting the market. But yeah, thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Oh yeah, there is a on-water review. As soon as I get that up, I'll leave a link at the end of this video, and you guys can check that out. But yeah, thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Ciao. See ya. Peace out. Rexy, baby. Sexy Rexy.